ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hello and welcome to another round reacts. We are now reacting to off the back of the huge knockout win by Mauricio Lara, 6-round knockout over Leigh Wood at the Nottingham Arena on Saturday. Mate, what were your thoughts? Did you think it was an early stoppage, or did you think it was fair?
Yeah. Do you know what it was? It was always going to be a tall sort of ask for Wood. Like, you know what I mean? It was billed as a 50-50 fight, but when a guy hits as hard as Lara, it's never really a 50-50 fight. Like, you know, he has got that kind of power where I think he can knock on any given day any champion in the featherweight division he could probably knock out. And it was one of those where I think Leigh Wood did really well in the fight, to be honest. He was up, he was ahead in the fight, and both men were hurt. It was actually a really exciting fight in the fact that both men were hurt. And I remember the round before, I was watching the fight with my girlfriend, and I remember the round before, I was saying, I think Lara's getting ready to go here. Do you know what I mean? He was being hurt. He looked visibly uncomfortable. And then he just pulled out that left hook, and it just absolutely wiped Wood out. And you know, hats off to Wood for taking the fight. And it was probably, in hindsight, as a voluntary defense, it was probably a little bit too ballsy. Do you know what I mean? Because Lara is that guy. He's the danger man of the division, and he proved it. To be honest with you, watching the stoppage in real time live, I thought it was absolutely the right decision, because even though Wood got up and he was facing Lara, when he turned around to protest to Brent Davison when the towel came in, he was still all over the place. He literally staggered back to his corner to protest it, and he was all over the place still. And I think Eddie Hearn posted a clip on Instagram today about it, or yesterday maybe, and it was like, this is what Mauricio Lara can do with 10 seconds left. And it was one of Lara's fights where he dropped the guy got up, and I think it was like 15 seconds on the clock, and he absolutely poleaxes him with the next combination. Like, literally, like, the guy goes like flying through the air. And then you realize, like, 10 seconds or not, it only takes it takes less than a second to you know, to get absolutely clobbered with a left hook. And I think, do you know what it is? You watched the fight, didn't you? And Carl Froch made the comment at the end of the fight, like, I think he could have went on, and that's what really created the doubt for me. But because you've got a world champion like Carl Froch saying, actually, I think it was an early stoppage. But I watched the fight again a second time, and I don't think it was an early stoppage. I actually agree with it. What do you think?
I think what it was I was really enjoying the fight, and it was really good. It was a really close fight. It was even, and I was thinking, I was really enjoying it. So because I was enjoying it, I was like annoyed that it was stopped, because it was so quick. It happened so fast. And I was like, I want it to carry on. But in hindsight, I think it was exactly the right decision. I think it was the right decision, because it was not going to recover by the next round. Even if there's 10 seconds left, he's got a little bit of break, he still would have been concussed. He wouldn't have been like completely. So he would have just had to go straight out for him. I mean, you could argue it both ways. I think it was the right decision, but it was frustrating for me because I was really enjoying it. And from a selfish point of view, I was like, oh, they should have carried on. So I was annoyed at first, but then I realized actually it's probably the right decision.
And he's so tough as well, isn't he, Leigh Wood? Like, for him to actually get up before the count of 10 and be ready to box on after taking a shot like that just shows how, like, the kind of condition that he's in, and how tough he is. But I think, you know, despite titles and stuff like that, you've got to look at sort of the long-term effects of the sport. And, like, I think ultimately, you know, he lived to fight another day.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close fight. You said, I thought they have more of a game plan, because I thought, you know, it's a risky fight to take on if you're not confident that you definitely win. But, you know, kudos and respect to him for taking it on anyway. It's a very ballsy move. But yeah, no, interesting. And now I think they're probably going to do a rematch again. So I think they'll probably do that again. I was looking to see who Lara could potentially face now, but it looks like he's contracted to do a rematch, so that'll probably happen
Yeah,
again. Maybe.
I think because it's a voluntary that the champion gets to have a rematch rather than if it was a mandatory. So I think it's the right decision. I know it's a risky fight, but it's one of those, like, you took the fight as a voluntary. You've lost your title. Now, in the next fight, you could win your title back, and you were up in that fight. You were up in that fight until you switched off and got caught. Now, that being said, it was only the 7th round. So it's going to be one of those where there's a very good chance we could just see a repeat of exactly what happened the next time they fight, because Lara's got that kind of power, and he's consistently got that type of power. He's always knocking people into orbit. So it's like, but I think that as dangerous as it is, I think he's put himself into a situation where the rematch is the only logical step he can take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, that's been another round reacts to that, man.